Righty, looks like we are live. Welcome to another Properties and Beers. I'm coming to you from a special location. And so today's live and uninterrupted from Kuala Lumpur. And this is a two-part video, so feel free to join in on the other ones. So the first part, look, here's the thing, right? I wanted to chat to you, even though I'm at Kuala Lumpur Airport after a red-eye flight, I wanted to chat with you about the RBA rates and a few other things that were like on my mind during the flight. That's right. I was doing that instead of sleeping. So here's the thing, right? The RBA held up rates again. And a lot of people are asking the same question. Does that mean we're in the clear? Does that mean rates are going up? Does that mean rates are going down? And actually the hold has caused a lot of confusion. And it's a fair question, but honestly, I think it's a wrong one. The better question is, what are you going to do while everyone else is waiting on the sidelines? Because as we've seen recently over the last 6 months, when I've been saying, hey guys, if you want to get into the property market, now's a good time to do it. The markets don't reward hesitation, they reward motion, right? And right now, there's a small window, and it's not going to last too much longer, in my opinion, where smart investors can set themselves up for freedom in 2026 before we see even more price growth, especially because of that October push that I remember I mentioned, a few Facebook lives ago that we're going to have that October push due to the government's policy of that 5% deposit for first home buyers. Now, you know, uh, here's the thing. I know it's not Friday, and I do properties and business on Friday. It's a what are we at? Sunday, right? Sunday morning, but I do have a drink in hand. Now, because it's not midday where I am, and I know it's probably midday where you are watching this. It's Kuala Lumpur. Hey, it's just 11 a.m. over here. So this is iced coffee. Cheers, guys. I promise round two we'll have some alcohol. And let's be honest, you're probably like, Goro, you do more properties and beers from overseas than in Melbourne. And I love doing these overseas because it reminds me why we invest. I personally believe investing in properties, not just for spreadsheets and stats, but really the end result is freedom freedom to live life on your terms, to travel, to explore, to do the meaningful work that truly aligns with your values. And for me, it's about creating those once in a lifetime experiences, which I'm excited to do with my brethren over at Entrepreneurs Organization. We've got a amazing retreat coming up, which I've had a big hand in curating some amazing experiences. So I'm excited about curating these once in a lifetime experiences. And I think it's only a measure of financial freedom that can do it. Because I remember saying, "Hey guys, the retreat's going to cost a little bit more than I thought it would because we're going to create some amazing things." And things that are truly, truly unforgettable. And they said, yeah, no worries. Because guess what? Freedom and financial freedom and experiences is part of their value set. So let's chat about RBA holds. So the Reserve Bank's holding rate steady, and look, some people say it's a headline. I believe it's a more than that. It's a signal that tells us that inflation's cooling, confidence is returning, and the next move is actually coming. Right? There was a lot of talk about the rates actually going up because of the inflation values. And here's the thing: inflation was mainly from uh, two factors. Number one, council rates, and number two, the energy rebate drop off. And so here's what I call a positioning period where I believe Australia is going to catch its breath because before a next sort of wave, even though the in owner occupier market, the 5%, we're seeing a lot of the demand in $1 million plus properties, which is really interesting. It's new. And that's simply because of the government's ability to create that 5% deposit, which isn't a market that I've experienced before, but it gives us an insight saying, hey, some of these properties that our clients are buying, 800, 900, and even a million, they're actually quite cheap compared to what's being sold out there from the owner occupier market. A lot of the good investors at the moment, they're restructuring finance, lining up the equity, and looking for properties that really pay for themselves, maybe not from day one, but from month one, right? Because that's a real game changer. We're not talking about buying for these bragging rights. It's about owning an asset that creates income while you sleep. So the old adage says, right? And let's have some more coffee. Definitely needed after big red eye flight. Tried to sleep on the red eye flight, didn't work. But actually, earlier today, before I get into the next step, I had my first experience in a capsule hotel. Had a couple hours sleep at a capsule hotel here in Kuala Lumpur Airport. If you don't have a priority pass, if you do have a priority pass, and you're at Kuala Airport and you've got a couple hours between transits, amazing thing to do. Get a little bit of shut eye. So the second thing I want to chat to you about is something that's become almost rare in the market, true cash flow positive property. We've helped so many clients this year secure homes that actually pay money in their pocket every week, not after 5 years, not after refinancing, but really from month one. And these kind of properties are in locations where there's strong rental demand, real yield, and growth upside. It's kind of assets that give you peace of mind. In fact, literally on the lounge on the way over on Melbourne Airport, I met one of my clients, and we were chatting about his property portfolio. Inadvertently bumped into a client, Joseph P. For those that have been following me for a while, and Joseph's like, Laura, even that property we bought in Werribee, well, the other properties in the other areas went sideways. My properties actually got up in value significantly because you helped me pick the right property in the right location. And I remember on that same street, I was trying to help another client buy a property, and his property actually went sideways. So in a market that was flat, my client's property went up, while my other client's property went flat because they went and picked their own land, and they sort of didn't follow the advice that I asked them to, which is really interesting. And here's the thing, that's what the magic of experience provides you. That's where I believe property starts paying for itself. Everything changes. You stop chasing, you get to start choosing experiences like my client did. He's going for a school reunion over to India, a 50-year school reunion. Get that right. And here's the thing, while you finally get to experience what financial freedom feels like, it's not just what it looks like on a spreadsheet. And I talk to investors every day. By the way, if you're here, say howdy. Yeah, and every day I talk to investors who say, you know, I want more than just time for my family, or I'm sick of working harder, or I feel like I'm not getting ahead, especially with rates being without. The truth is, I actually don't believe it's about working harder, but as the old saying goes, it's about working smarter with your money. Now, not all properties will be cash flow positive, but a high cash flow property allows you to take advantage of the growth while paying less out of your pocket every month, leaving more money in your pocket while the growth still occurs. And I believe it gives you choice, and choice is power at the end of the day, right? That's what I believe this whole movement's about. Creating a life where your money works for you and not the other way around. You know, is that what financial freedom is really about? Purpose. So but those that are just joining me here from KL Airport, having a properties and not beers, it's a iced coffee. Still not midday yet. I'm saving myself for part two. There will be a part two later on today. So now here's what I'm doing after thinking about these conversations with Joseph, my client Joseph earlier today, and what I'm going to do before the end of this year, I'm going to open up 5 exclusive spots for serious investors, my people who are ready to really create wealth the right way, ethically, intelligently, and really with empathy. And a few years ago, I personally mentored 5 clients a year. I did that in 2024. I skipped in 2025. And what I did in 2024 was guided them through the entire new build journey, from site selection to strategy to finance to handover, from stress to success, as I say, right? It was hands-on, it was intense, and I believe it's changed their lives for the better. We pressed pause on that program for 2025 while we were scaling new projects, but the demand for that kind of one-on-one, um, as we say, knee-to-knee conversation never stopped. So after countless requests, we decided to bring it back for 2026. So I'm not about a course, it's not a group coaching, it's actually personal one-on-one mentoring. So if you've been following properties and beers and waiting for the right moment, this could be it. I'm looking for 5 individuals who have the ability to take action, who want to design, build a cash flow machine that really gives them option, security, and independence. So you know what? Here's what we're going to do together. We're going to identify your income and your equity position, map out your financial goals and exit strategies, map you with the right type of property that, while not providing financial advice, the ones that you believe are going to be suited to your outcome, and help you structure finance for long term sustainability. And here's the thing, it will change, strategies will change, locations will change, but we're going to be there with you from plan to profit. And by the time 2026 arrives, you could be well on the way to holding an asset that doesn't just pay for itself, it pays you. So if you're if you believe you're one of the 5, you kind of already know it. You've probably been watching me, watching the market, crunching the numbers, waiting for the right time. But here's the truth. Honestly, there's no perfect time. There's only momentum, and this could be your moment. And so, guys, my flight's about to head out soon, so I'm going to wrap this up here in KL. But I'm jumping on a flight to another location, and I'm going to be going live from there again. So keep this in the loop. Part two is that really what's happening in the finance world, from Macquarie's latest move to our do good, make money milestone. and how it all ties back with wealth and integrity. And so grab a drink. I'll see you in a few hours live from a different country. Catch you later.